This past summer camp was my number one sales lead. And here's what I mean by that is that I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, Sam, I thought I could handle my workload this summer. I have something launching this fall and I have to drive my kids to camp. I thought that I was going to have all this time this week, but between driving and catching up on other things that I put off for when they're at camp, I can't do it. And I think it's super interesting that summer camp somehow ended up being the number one reason why people hired me for VIP days this summer. So I think that now would be a great time for us to talk about how to hire a copywriter and when to hire a copywriter, and also how to work with a copywriter. So let's go ahead and jump in. My name is Sam. I am your guide on this little copy adventure, and you are listening to the podcast Copy and. This is a marketing podcast with a copy focus. Why? Because copy is at the center of every piece of our marketing. Copy and design, copy and your sales strategy, copy and the way that you talk to your people, copy and messaging, copy and how the heck do you make AI sound like you, right? So today we're going to talk about copy and how to hire a copywriter. If you're just not ready to do it yourself, let's go ahead and jump in. First of all, I'm going to tell you about how you can work with me as a copywriter. I work in a few different ways. The first is my membership, Copy on Demand. It's currently closed, but you can join the waitlist at the link in the description in the show notes. But Copy on Demand is a membership where people who want to write their own copy get the accountability and feedback that they need to be able to write copy that sounds like them but converts better, which is what I want for you. This is a podcast about copywriting. If you hire me, great. That's amazing. I love that for both of us. But if you're just here to learn how to become a better copywriter and you're getting a ton of value just listening to me here, Copy on Demand is going to be amazing for you because Copy on Demand is where you get feedback on your copy. So you listen to me say things here, you do it yourself, and then I help you with the context of your own business. The minimum commitment is a year, so you generate these better writing habits, whether it be the accountability to write often or write copy that actually sells based on your habits that you're picking up over the course of the year. So that's number one, is the kind of this hybrid, not done for you, not even done with you because you're doing the writing, you're just doing it better. Photographers spend a lot of time on Zoom calls trying to upsell their work. At CM Bryson, they get it. In-person sales are powerful, but they can also be exhausting. That's why they created Video Sales for Photographers, a system to sell albums and wall art to existing clients using short, asynchronous videos. If you're ready to simplify your sales process and scale those sales, get Video Sales for Photographers today. And you can save $200 when you use the code Nomad. You can find it at cmbryson.com/photographer-sales-course. And of course, the link will be in the show notes. The second way to work with me is VIP days, where we have a kickoff call a couple days before the full day of writing, where we sit down and review everything that you've got for me, whether that be existing sales pages, you just telling me your ideas, you might have a website, you might have emails. It depends on what you want me to write for you, but you probably want to bring to the table client voice, client feedback, past testimonials, any research that you've done on the offer that you have. And then you don't have to be present for the day of your VIP day. On your VIP day, a couple days later, I will have marinated on what you've said, and I sit down and I write all day long. You've got me for 7 hours, and it is wild what I can create in 7 hours. It might be a full sales page, perhaps several emails. The most I did in a day was a full launch series of emails, and then the person hired me to come back on and do their next sales page in emails as well. We can also do a full 4-page website in a day. So there's a lot of options for you with a VIP day, but people always ask, what can you get done in a day? And that fully depends on what you need done in a day. As long as it's copy, I can write it. That can be anything from sales pages, websites, sales emails, ads, and anything in between. Anything that you use to sell. So that's thing number 2. We had copy on demand and we have VIP days. Then we have project basis. A lot of people choose to do this when they have more than what can get done in a day. I do that a lot. A lot of times people come to me for a VIP day when they had a pretty okay launch and they know it would be better if they got my eyes on it. So copy on demand or VIP days are a great way to get both new and zhuzhed copy. Projects are almost the same, except rather than getting as much done in a day, there's a clear set of deliverables. We say, this is exactly what I'm going to be able to deliver to you, typically over the course of a few weeks. We can take it in stages. What I did recently for someone is we wrote their sales page first. 2 weeks later, we wrote their emails. That way we knew that the sales page was absolutely locked down before we started writing the sales emails that would lead to the sales page. Then to wrap everything up, we did the ads that would lead to their opt-in and did their opt-in. So we did a full launch copy set over the course of about a month. Those are the 3 ways that you can work with me. I know there's other copywriters who work on a retainer basis, other copywriters who only work on an hourly basis. There's a lot of ways to work with people. And if you have a different way of working, reach out to me. I have a huge network of copywriters and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Also, when you're hiring a copywriter, a lot of it comes down to style, and I do encourage you to shop around. Sometimes it's really helpful to have somebody who speaks very similarly to you. So follow people on Instagram, watch the way that they talk, look at their emails and see how they speak to their audience. Does that feel comfortable for you? Just like an artist, let's say you were to have Andy Warhol come in and do a mural, but you were hoping it would look like Monet. They're both incredible artists, but Andy Warhol is not Claude Monet, and Claude Monet is going to not draw you a Campbell's soup can. Absolutely not. He's going to draw you lily pads. So when hiring a creative, make sure that you've seen past examples of their work before hiring them. Make sure that they do have experience doing what you need them to do. If somebody says, I've never written ads before, but I'm sure I can, I would take pause. If somebody has never worked in the professional services industries and doesn't know how to talk about things like, let's say you're an accountant or a financial advisor, if somebody doesn't know how to talk about those things, I would take pause before hiring them. So it's not uncommon to ask a copywriter to see examples of their work as well. So when hiring a copywriter, you definitely want to understand their style, you want to understand their level of experience, and you want to understand the way that they work. I told you how I work specifically, but why would you hire a copywriter in the first place? You might hire a copywriter like the person I mentioned at the beginning of the video, or the several people I mentioned who just didn't have time to write their own copy. You may also be in a rut where you say, I know how to write. In fact, I'll attest to this. Every one of my clients has really great writing skills. They just might not have great sales writing skills. So it could be a time gap. It could be a skills gap. The thing I hear over and over is, why would I hire you as a person when I can just plug things into Chat or Claude or elsewhere and get a sales page spit out? And the reason for that is, well, there's a lot of them. But the first thing is, it's really difficult to get your chat bots to write like a human, especially if they haven't already met the other humans that you're selling to. Some ways to help make AI a little bit better would be to give them as much voice of client as you possibly can. Copy paste your testimonials over there, other feedback, maybe even give them examples of your clients' content so that they can see how your clients talk about things. You can ask your clients to send you voice notes, grab the transcripts, and then put them into one of your chatbots. It's helpful to know how your people speak. Language learning models, like ChatGPT, tend to write in cycles. They write in circles. So there's kind of this formula that you'll start to see where they say problem, solution, anti-solution. And that looks a lot like, you must be really busy. I'm going to help you free up so much time in your schedule without the overwhelm. So that it takes you to a high of, here's the solution. I'm going to help you create so much time in your schedule. But then this anti-solution of without the overwhelm, or no fluff, is another big one we see. A lot of times it says things in threes as well. So it'll also give like 3 anti-solutions of no fluff, no overwhelm, and no extra time on your part. It's not actually selling something. It's trying to sell what it's not, which does not compute. And when you are saying things like fluff and overwhelm and those things, or you're taking people to an anti-solution, you are significantly decreasing the chances that they purchase. schedule dips every time a client wraps up their program or package, it's not your offer that's not working, it's your website. And what I mean by that is that your website should be your hardest working employee working behind the scenes to bring in new clients while you're delivering your services. Alex Theodore, a therapist turned SEO copywriter, is sharing the guide called Stop Panicking When Clients Graduate. It'll show you how to rank on Google so that ideal clients can actually find you, and then walk you through how to write copy that connects and converts so that you can bring in clients even when you're working on other things. You can download the free guide at the link in the show notes. So yeah, you could have AI write something for you, but that deep understanding of sales psychology is not present unless you train it that way. And you could train it that way if you were trained on sales psychology. But if you were trained on sales psychology, you would be writing your own copy and not asking it to write for you. There's a lot of good things that chat can do. It can help you outline a page. It can help you find gaps in your page once you've written it. There are so many great uses for AI and writing. However, when you are putting your career on the line and saying, this is something that I want to launch, something that I need to get off the ground, something where resonating from a person-to-person basis in a world where that human touch is continually diminishing. And I'll tell you, human touch is what's selling right now and always, and building trust is what sells. You need to have that human touch. So absolutely play around with AI, have a good time with it, but make sure that you understand sales psychology well enough before you go ahead and hit publish. And if you're hitting publish and you're not feeling confident, or you're hitting publish and things aren't selling, it's another great time to tap in on a copywriter. Of course, I hope that copywriter is me, because I do have over a decade of sales experience. I do have experience writing for plenty of 6- and 7-figure launches. I'm also a very honest person and can tell you that most of the launches I write for are 5-figure launches, because a lot of people aren't set up for 6-figure launches, and that's okay. I'm here to see you sell more. I want to teach you through this podcast how to write copy that sounds like you but converts better. But if you're in a place where you can't write the copy, or you're not writing copy that sounds like you but converts better, and you want to make the investment, that's when you reach out to me. If you're a fast action taker and you know that this is a great time for us to start a conversation, slide into my DMs on LinkedIn or Instagram. I'm on Instagram at nomad.copy and LinkedIn at Samantha Burmeister. If you're a little bit more cautious, you're interviewing around for copywriters, I love that for you and I'm so ready for that conversation. I will make sure that the link to my interest form is also in the show notes so that you can grab that as well. I am always, always, always an open book, so feel free to reach out on any platform with any questions. I'm happy to answer future questions right here on the podcast. In future episodes, we're going to get a little bit deeper into different types of copy, especially next up on the podcast, we are going to be talking about opt-ins and value ladders. If you've been on my email list for a while, you have heard this, but I can't stand the idea that we take people from a free thing to a paid thing and then suddenly they're going to end up in our coaching program. Does that happen? Absolutely. But it is much more of a spider web than a ladder, and we are going to talk about all the copy that you need to direct people from just being strangers on the internet to people who absolutely love paying you, and how copy can help you do that. Again, my name is Sam. I'm the head copywriter at Nomad Copy Agency. Otherwise, I will see you next week where we dig into value ladders and why I kind of hate them. Have a great week.